Big man, you ready?
Yeah. You sure? Yeah. I got it last year. Okay.
Right, so here we're going on, right? We in DB, we call this area again? DB Trace, right? Just before they turn off the end of the highway. Right? If you come to the end of the highway and you turn right, look my boy now, this bike man now fall off your bike. You know why? You know why this man fall off your bike? Look, my car tire bust. Cause next man car tire bust, right? And I'm sure the reason why this happening is because of a hole on the road. A hole on the road causing a set of vehicle thing to happen. This highway just get repaired. What's going on here? What you're causing the problem? Watch. What you're causing the problem? A hole on the road. A bike man now fall off your bike. You understand? Could have dead. Right? Nearly run out of cover because of this big damn hole on the road. They now fix this highway. Look. I nearly run off the damn road with my family. You understand? Watch this. Watch that. Watch this. Watch the hole. Watch this hole. This causing all this problem. People, man nearly lost his life already. Nearly lost his life because of this hole in the road here, boy.
And today in Diego Martin, it rained in Diego Martin from 8:15 drizzling, but it overcast, pitch black, it like night in Diego Martin, whole day till about 4:45. You know, at 3:15, when I pass in by West Mall, on that piece of little roundabout that when you're driving the highway, you could dead just so because you have to move from 100K down to 0, right? To go wrong, Rohan and them, small roundabout that Paulie designed. You know Junior Sammy had trucks with hot mix, pack up one of them big truck. Me I know what's the capacity. All they go know with the biggest truck, full a hot mix. You hear what I tell you? It raining since 8 a.m. The pitch, the whole of Diego Martin, it rained. Let me tell you, if you had a radar picture, you would have just see orange or red all over Diego Martin. Them had 4 trucks. A hot mix. The rain falling at it, it's steaming up and smoking. Them pitching road in a pitch black rain, the river, Diego Martin River, 2 feet from overflowing. And PNM going to pitch road in the rain. That is PNM. That is management. That is your money. And Jusamco, I see a nice trucks pretty. But I saw them same trucks by Balize House. And when Rowley gone, when Smallpin gone, when Richie Sukai and the air condition gone, when Rohan Sinanan gone, when the people get rid of the PNM, you see that thing? That Balize showcase, we will showcase the corruption of the PNM. Because Junior Sammy, you go out to explain how much they pay you from the donations that they say they pay for, how much they pay you for how much material. Because when we get a forensic engineer to go in there and work out how much spend, I'm not picking on you alone, because it's Junior Sammy truck I see with my own eyes. I a witness, I go in the inquiry. When my daughter was playing tennis in Tranquility, over every Saturday, over a 7-week period, I see Junior Sammy truck. I see Calco truck. I see Kusal truck. And I see Earth Movers truck. I see 8 workers stuck in Spanish. ¿Qué pasa, amigo? Yeah, man, a real Mako good. So, when all you're ready, that Balize showcase, Jolene John and Munilal will deal with that. And the homeless will go in that showcase. So, all you have, all your bills, try to organize some paperwork, eh? Don't backdate thing and thing, you know, because they might have a real commissioner of police back then. $100 a day to send a child to school because Rohan can't fix road. Because the minister of Catwoman suit, Johnny Sukaran, can't fix road. Because the PNM waste out all your money and the roads are the worst in history. In Tudge Road and Tudge Station Road, $100 to take a child from inside to school and back. You could imagine $100 a day. And PNM come to both and say they raise minimum wage by $3 or something, $2.50. That's how people have to suffer. Because to have Rowley in the seat as a prime minister, instead of Kamla Prasad Bisesa, a middle-class family of 4 pays between $40,000 and $90,000 per year out of their pocket to keep Rowley there. What Rowley have that is so Rowley is Mother Teresa, he's Gandhi, he's Mandela. Who is Rowley? Rowley is a scumbucket who's a teacher and impregnate a girl at school age. Rowley is a scumbucket that material from a hospital rolled to somewhere by he. Rowley is a scumbucket who wife had been one Woodbrook place, guarded by special branch, because he can't keep his tiny branch in his pants, and when it come out, it has come out naked, no prophylactic, dropping children all over. That scumbucket, lashing fisherman wife, lashing minister in the cabinet wife, that's what you all vote for? This fool. As I say fool, Winston Dukaran, plead to politicians, close the gap between promises and action. Winston Dukaran, let me tell you something. Boy, I was so stupid when I read all your book and your paper back in the day, 2017, talking about the bottom up, talking about the principles of propriety, helping those most in need, how you use the economic power that you get to impact the life. And then you go in a cabinet and fight for Yetming, Conrad Al-Young, and Lockjack. You fight for Lockjack to remain as Caribbean Airlines chairman. That PNM Lockjack, the PNM Lockjack who say, if we give you back the 400 million for the private jet, you feel you go get hospital beds. The PNM Lockjack who they say don't build a hotel in the sea there in Tobago, he build the hotel and the PNM give him $110 million and bail out his PNM Lockjack tail. The same PNM Lockjack who built Carlton Savannah and it bust, and I on the radio with Dennis Hall aka Sprangalang, and our research showed that the First Citizens Bank and Karen Nunes Teixeira and the PNM was going to give Lockjack and them at Carlton Savannah, that is now Bricks and next set of PNM, $350 million to bail them out. And when I bust that on Power 102.1 FM, Power Drive with Sprangalang, 28% share, 89,000 people listening per hour. PNM at a back. But then you know what they did? They had Chogum and they put the Queen to stay there. And Lord alone knows how much they had to spend for security and the whole building and so on, but it might have been the same 350 million. You come to fight your own members in government to leave Lockjack, PNM Lockjack at the helm of Caribbean Airlines, and you come in to tell me, close the gap between promises and action. You were the Minister of Finance in the People Partnership government. And let me tell you something. The only time things got done and money that was supposed to be allocated for projects and so on at various ministries, the only time that it moved while you were Minister of Finance was when you went on some conference and Vasant Bharat. Yes, Vasant, even though I disrespect you, I have no respect for you, I think you're an idiot, you're dotish, you're talking nonsense. The Douglas don't lie on people. Vasant Bharat, when he acted as Minister of Finance, was extremely efficient. He worked hard. He got money released. He put the permanent secretary and things got going to generate jobs in the economy and so on. You come to tell people about promises and close the gap. Close the gap between your mouth. And I have plenty more. Movie now. Wasting time. As I say, Vasant are now big up. Now I have to go back to reality. Vasant Bharat in the papers today. Vasant PNM Gypsy Bharat. Vasant Bharat says, UNC lifetime member, this is Guardian Wednesday, November 22nd, page 7. Now, a little buy no Guardian, I just buy it to mash it up and to show all you that you all have to be smarter than these people. But the information I will utilize to give you all information, right? UNC lifetime member Bharat said he would consider nomination because Trinidad and Tobago is in ruins. Nothing works and no one is taking responsibility. A change of government is necessary if we are to change course before it's too late. Out of control, this is Vasant Bharat, you know. Vasant Bharat. Out of control murders and gang violence. Almost every state institution has failed. The criminal justice system, education, police service, WASA, NIB, etc., roads and infrastructure are in a deplorable state. There is widespread social decay, frightening violence at schools. First of all, let me deal with that. That's Vasan Bharat. But Vasan Bharat, that's your government. That's your policy. You are on the roadmap to recovery for the PNM. You and Mohammed and the KFC man, finger licking good, all you in charge of the roadmap to recovery. So if there is no recovery, Vasant, and people have to take responsibility, you have to line up to take your responsibility. You are on the roadmap to recovery team. You are an advisor to the government. You set down the government's plan, the roadmap that they are implementing. So when you see it's a roadmap to out of control murders, then you in that. When it's a roadmap to gang violence, well, Vasant, you in that. When it's a roadmap to the failed criminal justice system, you in that roadmap. When it's a roadmap to education, police, WASA, NIB, infrastructure, you in that roadmap. Who you mean there? Take responsibility. Take responsibility. Furthermore, Vasant, you know all this going on. Please, tomorrow, post, and we don't have it. Everything you post, we don't have it. So don't go and lie. Post all the times in the last however long that you realize all these things collapse, all these institutions. Please print and post all your articles, your statements, post up your videos, like your doubles and coffee, like how I could show you every day. I say no hard, Rowley, you're disgusting, you're pathological, you ain't good, education ain't good, public utilities ain't good, economy ain't good, energy ain't good, trade ain't good, no forex, institutional control, damage. I could show you all, doubles and coffee, all, the Douglas politics, all I could show you. Show me yours. No, not that. I didn't want to show you. You know, you just like to show off all them. That's not that at all. Show me all your critiques of Rowley and the PNM. Please. Because I have all that you attack Kamala. You attack Kamala and Kamala this and Kamala that and she weak and the UNC this and the whole. Show me all the times that you criticize all of these things you're now saying. And then he comes to say now, you know, it had to be the Vasan clung. I'm saddened by UNC's string of defeats since 2013. First of all, the UNC is a team of which you were a critical member in 2013 coming forward. You were the Minister of Agriculture. You were the acting Minister of Finance. You were a minister in the Ministry of Finance. You were the Minister of Trade and Industry. When Kamala lost and the PNM cheat the election and the EBC tell them they get an extra hour and didn't tell the UNC, Kamala put you in the Senate. You was an opposition senator. You were part and parcel all day. So if we lost, is we lost, Vasant? You too, on top of that, Vas, Kamala said to you, you are my Lionel Messi. You are my Mbappe. 2015, Vasant, you are the man. Go and bring home St. Joseph for me, Vasant, so that the UNC and our 309,000 and more supporters and the people of Trinidad and Tobago can benefit from the GATE program, agricultural program, sporting program, good roads, infrastructure, great corporate governance, one man for one board, no family members on boards, foreign direct investment and so on. Come on, Vasant. Kamala said, come on, Vasant. Bring it home for me, Vasant. Vasant, win it for me. Go there. Take the penalty, Vasant. The ball is yours. Vasant, you kick it in the Gulf of Paria. You miss the whole flipping goal. Convent girl beat you. Vasant. Convent girl beat you. A man who could not pass a pharmacological exam. The worst minister. We're number one in the world. Well, he was number one in St. Joseph because he beat you. And you are sad about the losses that Kamala had. It's you. So on top of that, stay where you is. Stay in your PNM. In fact, go up in St. Joseph for the PNM. Okay, Vasan? He then continued, He said, some people tell him, don't file no nomination papers. The lady doesn't want to hear your name. Frankly, I'm not deterred by that, said Vasan. Vasan, it had nothing to do with the lady. Is something wrong with you? Are you delusional? Vasan, the people don't want you. The people of Trinidad and Tobago don't want you. The UNC supporters that you have suffered, that you went and aided and abetted the PNM in ensuring that Rowley scraped through a victory in 2020 with 35,000 people outside, with a PNM EBC run by Fern Narciscope, the best friend of Gadsby Dolly and the niece of former Minister Maxi Coffey. You who went to help Gypsy, you who attacked Kamla and didn't help the UNC, and the UNC lost 2020 election by 2,612 votes, Vasan. You, it had nothing to do with the lady. Kamla could want to bring you back how much Kamla want. The people will run you, Vasan. Vasan, let me also point to you. Let me ask you, you want to go for St. Augustine? Okay, let me screen. The Douglas going and screen here. Remember the Douglas Fair? I just tell the whole country that the only time in the first 18 months of People Partnership that we got anything done was when you acted as Minister of Finance. That's a fact. I cannot lie on you. Now you're dotish, you're ignorant, you're wicked, you're selfish, you're myopic, you're sad, you're disgusting, you're a PNM, you're a roadmap. All of that too is true. Okay? So let me screen you. So you're going up against the incumbent Khadija Amin. Khadija Amin, hamper, flood, working for the people on the ground. Up to last night, she in St. Joseph in my meeting mobilizing for St. Joseph Monday night on this coming Monday. She all over helping councillors, walking, screening, NATEX, chairman of the party, every meeting, talking, not talking, organizing, sharing hampers with councillors, getting information, filling out forms, debating in the parliament, fighting for the people for the last 3 years as an MP and 5 years before that as a senator. That's she. We screen in. You come now. Okay, Vasant. Well, I've been attacking Kamla. Anything Kamla say, I say Kamla dotish. Kamla ain't good. Kamla weak. Kamla beat me 4 times. I still want to go back for a next licking because I like it finger licking good. Sometimes man like to get licks from woman. I love Rowley. I join Rowley.
people living, suffering, hungry. Meet we on the pavement. So much women done get killed. And you as a leader threatening violence still. Oh me, oh my, I don't feel the cry. It's so sad to see the destruction of my country. Hey. See how poor people living, suffering, hungry. Meet we on the pavement. So much women done get killed. And you as a leader threatening violence still. Oh me, oh my, I don't feel the cry. It's so sad to see the destruction of my country. Hey. See how poor people living, suffering, hungry. Meet we on the pavement. So much women done get killed. And you as a leader threatening violence still. Oh me, oh my, I don't feel the cry. It's so sad to see the destruction of my country.
Anthem. Thank you very much. Could you keep standing as I invite former councillor and alderman Philip Gonzalez to do our opening prayer.
Your heads are bowed, your eyes are closed as we lift our hearts in prayer. Almighty God, we are truly thankful to Thee for bringing us here safely this evening. We thank You for health and strength. We thank You, God, that You can lead us into this place to listen to the issues tonight that face our country and whereby we can have solution to this problem. In a very special way tonight, O Lord, we lift up our political leader before You. We ask that You will grant her the strength that she desires this time, the wisdom, the knowledge, understanding, as she lead this party, O God. Be with her, direct her, and be the one that will continue to be her guide every single day. I pray for all members tonight who are here, members of council. I pray for our member of parliament and all members of the opposition who are here tonight, O Lord. I pray, dear Father, as we have this meeting to sensitize this area, we pray, O God, that this meeting will be one that will resonate in this area, that people will understand clearly that all is not lost, but better days are coming. So help us tonight as we lift our eyes unto You, from whence cometh our help. Lead us, we pray, into this meeting, we ask. Amen.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gonzalez. You may have your seat. Thank you. Lengua, good evening. Lengua, good evening. Lengua, let me hear you. Good evening. Political leader of the United National Congress, the Honorable Kamala Prasad Bisesa, who I know is locked on, members of Parliament, senators, our chairman of the Princeton Regional Corporation, my colleagues in council and other councillors who are here with us, and of course, our aldermen. Most importantly, you, our burgesses and live wire of the UNC. Give yourselves a round of applause for being here and, of course, being here in your numbers. This evening is the second run of the Pavement report, coming to you live on the different platforms from Lengua Islamia TIA Primary School. And this evening, we have a lineup of vibrant, young, some new, some good-looking, but most of them good-looking, to give blows on the pavement this evening. So we were going to go right into it. This evening, co-hosted with me will be Councillor Sean Premchand. And we go straight to the punches. This evening, we have our first speaker. And coming to the platform, he is no stranger in council. He is a old stalwart. Let's welcome Lakshmi Narayan Ramdan, Councillor for St. Julian, Princeton North. Councillor Ramdan has been serving for the 5th term at the Princeton Regional Corporation. He is the chairman of the Lead Park Committee for Princeton and charter member of the Princeton Central Lions Club, member of Princeton Police Station Council. Once again, let's welcome Councillor Nello.
Thank you very much, Chairman Councillor Matura, the honorable political leader, members of parliament, senators, my fellow colleague councillors, burgesses of Lengua Indian Walk and also Moruga Table and chairman of the Princestown Regional Corporation. Good night, good evening. Well, they sent me to open party here this evening, not prepared the way I should have been prepared, and within the time frame that you have, you need to, you need to condense what you want to say. As chairman would have indicated, I am the councillor for Lengua, for St. Julian, Princestown North. The councillor for St. Julian, Princestown North. I've been serving that district since the inception of that district. That district used to be part of Lengua, St. Julian Lengua, Indian Walk. Then they divided that in 2013 and created a new seat that is St. Julian, Princestown North. And since 2013, I've been serving as the elected councillor, and prior to that, I had served as an alderman at the Princestown Regional Corporation. So tonight we're here to give you some information, to give you facts, and to tell you the real issues that affect the Princestown Regional Corporation. I know the members of parliament will deal with the national issues, but we are here tonight to really tell you some of the challenges that we face at the Princestown Regional Corporation. As we all know, from time to time we would get our releases at the Regional Corporation. We would continue to do development programs within our electoral district. As for my district, I can tell you that we had completed box drains, road paving. I recently completed the pavilion at the Matilda Ramlila ground. Recently we completed construction on the Princestown Market, the Princestown Promenade, and just to name a few for you. But all of that doesn't come very easy. It comes with a lot of challenges. And having the council that we had since May of this year, when we had to dissolve the council, we were able to put those programs in place. Today, those projects have been completed. But that's just for my district. But as the Princestown Regional Corporation, we do not work in isolation. We work as a team, and we try to bring together and assist all councillors. We all know the government has a plan of local government reform, and that the only reform that we in Princestown know of is the electoral district of reform and Alhambra. That's the only reform that we know of in Princestown. There's no local government reform coming the way they talked about it. And I want to tell you that based on certain issues and certain facts, and I just want to touch quickly on the property tax. They're now sending out notices for people to collect property tax. A couple of my burgesses came to me. And when you look at what's happening with that and the document that they're sending to them, these people are becoming frightened. But the point I'm trying to make to you is that the Princestown Regional Corporation is not equipped and ready to collect the property tax. So we're no way in a position to collect that. So that's way off. And I just want to tell you, you would hear them saying that we will get funding from the regional corporation. Each corporation is supposed to generate their own revenue stream. And the government revenue stream is through property tax. We at the Princestown Regional Corporation had developed a plan, or has a plan for Princestown, where ecotourism is our revenue generating programs and projects. We at the Princestown Regional Corporation continue to develop those sites. But the challenges that we face with those sites are the road network. To get to those sites are very, very challenging and very difficult. We do not have to collect property tax to raise revenue. If we are given the resources to develop our local tourism site, we would be able to create what you call local economic development in each one of our rural communities, whereby the burgesses of that community would be able to create some kind of sustainable income that will help them to help themselves. As the chairman would have mentioned, I am chairman of the LEDPAC in Princestown, which is part of the LED, the Local Economic Development Program. And I want to tell you, only about 2 weeks ago, we completed a training program in Princestown with over 150 participants, free of charge. And that was an agri-training program where we train persons in budding and grafting and agricultural initiatives. That was free of charge. Coming out of that training program, we also developed a niche market for each of the persons who were trained in that program, So once they start producing, coming out of their budding and grafting program, we have in place a system that will take all of the plants that they produce. So that is part of what we propose to do as our local economic development program. We want to develop local economic development. We want to bring sustainable income to our community. We have a lot of single mothers and single parents. We don't want them coming out there and asking for hampers or looking for 10 days. We want to create something more important for them. Something that they could be proud of. Something that they could be dignified. Their children will be proud of them. But this government wants to keep all of us in a state of dependency. I just want to use one quote. The MP tell me I have a few minutes extra. Mahatma Gandhi fought the British Empire and brought them down. You know why? Mahatma Gandhi told the people of India, we are independent people and we could be independent and we should be independent. And Mahatma Gandhi walked and marched with the people of India to make them independent so that the British Empire would not control them anymore. Because they had all of the natural resources that could have made them the people that they are today in this world. And I want to tell you, we in Trinidad, as a people, we could do that. But we need to stand united. We need to stand as one people. We need to come together under one leader and show the People's National Movement that they can't dictate to us and control our lives anymore. As I go back to the point of local economic development and ecotourism, we have sites in Moruga, Devil's Woodyard, the Moruga Tar Lake. All of these are places of tourist destination. So I want to just tell you that here quickly tonight, that if the government were to allocate resources to the Princeton Regional Corporation to help us develop our road network, then we in Princeton would have a better place and we would be able to generate the economy and the local economic development that we look forward for. So once again, my brothers and sisters, as we hear tonight, there's much more that I could say to you tonight, but time doesn't allow for that. So I want to say, let us stand strong, stand united, under one leader, one party, the Honorable Kamala Prasad Bisesa, as we bring Trinidad and Tobago to a brighter and safer place. Thank you.
Let's give it up for Councillor Nello Ramdan, Councillor Chminarayan Ramdan. So good night again, everyone. Sitaram, Assalamu alaikum. My name is Sean Premchand, the Councillor for current Cedar Hill District in Princeton Regional. And it is my pleasure to invite to this platform here tonight my new colleague in council. She is no stranger to this area. She represents she will be represented in council the 5th Company District. I call on this platform tonight Ms. Alima Ali. Mrs. Ali comes from a business background. She studied business management and has been employed in a field for the past 10 years. Let's welcome Councillor Alima Ali.
Honorable Political Leader, Mrs. Kamala Prasad Bisesa, Members of Parliament, Senators, Chairman of the Princeton Regional Corporation, Members of Council, fellow colleagues, residents, a pleasant good night. Tonight I'm here to touch on one of the issues, the most distressing issue throughout my entire electoral district, and that is the situation of our water crisis. How many residents in Kunjal, Komoto Road, and environs have a regular supply of pipeborne water? Many of you do not. We have dry taps, empty tanks, empty water vessels for weeks and some cases even months at a time. And this issue not only affects my electoral district, but the majority of South Trinidad. Residents are forced to buy truck-borne water in this economy. And if we do not pay our WASA bills, guess what? We're still going to be disconnected. But ironically, we do not have clean water in our taps, but we are plagued by the constant worry of flooding in our community of Barapo. residents living in Matbar Trace and William Trace, every year during the rainy season, you all are affected by flooding. And as I continue to work for my district and for my residents, I am pleased to announce that drainage and irrigation projects are carded for both Matbar and William Trace to alleviate the extent of flooding in those areas and in surrounding areas. Road rehabilitation projects are also carded for Gilbert and Ganesh Traces, since those areas have been affected for many years. A number of retaining walls are also scheduled for both the 4th and 5th Company to improve the infrastructure and prevent additional damage to those areas. At this time, I would like to invite a representative from the Ministry of Works and Transport to take a drive on St. Cross Road, or as some people call it, St. Croix Road. In particular, between light poles 24 and 46. Many of you may remember that this is where the residents held the fiery protest earlier this year. The landslips in that area are endless. Taxi drivers are saying that sometimes they spend 15 to 20 minutes in traffic during rush hours just to get by those landslips. And it is a well-traversed area since there are 3 schools within a 10-mile radius. I know for a fact that most residents will appreciate repairs in that area. In closing, I'm pleased to announce that the drainage project in Reese Road would be completed during the course of this week, and the landslip near Cowan Hamilton School was completed last month. I pledge to continue to work for those in my community through the Princeton Regional Corporation to improve the infrastructure of our community. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alima. She may be petite, short, but she could definitely pack a punch. Let's hear it once again for Miss Ali. Remember, we are coming live from the various platforms right here in Lengua. As we move forward to our next speaker, representing the unique electoral district of Moruga, he's young, he's committed, action-oriented, and a people-centered person. With over 10 years of community service, Councillor Laurent is currently serving his 3rd term in office, which spans from November 2016 to present. This evening, let's welcome, put your hands together for Councillor Joseph Laurent to the podium.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. The Honorable Political Leader of the United National Congress, Opposition Leader, Mrs. Kamala Prasad Bisesa, SC, Member of Parliament, Senators, not ex-members, Chairman of the Princeton Regional Corporation, Councillor Gori Rupnarang, members of Council of the Princeton Regional Corporation, members of the media, my UNC family. Muriga Tablan, good evening. Firstly, I must start by thanking my electors for their continued support, as on Monday, 14th August 2023, together we created history, electing the first 3rd-term councillor for the Moruga Electoral District under the banner of the United National Congress, to which I'm indeed grateful. Like Houdini, I made a peer disappear. For the record, we continue to hear year after year about local government reform. But in truth and in fact, the only reform I'm aware of is reform Manahambri, the electoral district currently held by Councillor Vashti Suku. The Moruga Electoral District continues to face serious challenges from flooding, unemployment, bad roads, and poor illumination. Flooding continues to be a burning issue. With the rainy season upon us, imagine having to beg private contractors to do what drainage division is supposed to be doing. Because, ladies and gentlemen, that $10,000 in flood relief doesn't cut it. Imagine waiting weeks to be assessed, sometimes months to receive a check. And for the 123 flood victims in June, zero, zilch, nada, nothing. So tonight, I call on the Minister of Works and Transport to help those that are in need by cleaning the major waterways in Barapur, Muruga, and Platinic. Also to the Minister of Social Development and Family Services, have a heart and help those that were severely affected by the recent June flooding. Bar Rose continues to be the order of the day, from Rocha Douglas Road all the way to Mark. Who remembered the Rocha Douglas Road, which was like a highway during the People's Partnership under the leadership of Mrs. Kamla Prasad Bisesa? Now it's potholes and accident after accident causing the lives of many. No fire station after several house fires which amongst the millions of dollars in losses for poor families. Not to mention, no lifeguard for the Muruga Beach facility after several requests. No community centers for years in Penal Rock Road and Grand Shimon. No job opportunities causing frustrated youths to either migrate or to turn to a life of crime. Little to no illumination along the Muruga main road from Mark to Kachip. That is development PNM style. I must say, since our independence in 1962, Muruga has been neglected under the People's National Movement. Thanks to the United National Congress, the police can boast of a modern police station. However, due to the lack of maintenance, down to the police sweating. Not only because of the high crime rate, but due to the non-functional AC units. Tonight, I call on the Minister of National Insecurity to at least do something for the Muruga police officers by repairing the AC unit, which is indeed cheaper than the procurement of those wooden ladders. As you may know, that was a main hit with millions of dollars being spent. As I conclude, I must state, with the current hardship, criminals are now pouring in from house to house. We cannot justify crime and criminal activities, but under Mrs. Kamla Prasad Bisesa, we saw a drastic reduction in crime. And as always, persons had food on their tables. According to Mr. Lewis, it was work like that. Now, he has to wonder where his next day will come in from because Christmas right around the corner. Ladies and gentlemen, now is the time to stand up in order to stand out. Because according to Martin Luther King Jr., and I quote, "Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter." Ladies and gentlemen, together we are moving forward with our political leader and the next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Mrs. Kamla Prasad Bisesa, because she has the experience, the political savvy, the vision and the plan to move this country forward. Together we can. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your opportunity as we continue to move this country forward. I must say thank you very much for the opportunity as we continue to ensure better for the people of Trinidad and Tobago. I thank you.
Let's give it up for Councillor Laurent, Joseph Laurent, Muruga Tabelon. Let me just acknowledge the members of the Naparima Executive, members of the Muruga Tabelon Executive tonight. Tonight, as I stand on this platform, I do so with eagerness and pride. As we, the members of the United National Congress, under the astute leadership of the Honorable Kamla Prasad Bisesa, continue to highlight the great tragedy that has befallen us because of this inept and wicked PNM government led by a man who is not ashamed of himself and his government and of their tremendous shortcomings, the incompetence, corruption, the mismanagement of the economy. A man well known for his arrogance and disrespect to women and children. A man who doesn't care if you have food on your table, if your children have access to laptops or books in their bags. A man who would shut down the heartbeat of our nation, Petrotrin, just to save his bestie, and then raises fuel more than his own self-respect. A man who laughs at you after hitting you with rate increases for Wasanti and Tech, starving you with high food prices. A man with no heart, killing us with the highest recorded crime ever in Trinidad and Tobago. That wicked man is called who, William? Keith Christopher Rowley. So I now have the pleasure in inviting my colleague, hailing from the village of Fifth Company, is a dedicated individual with a profound passion for engaging with the youth and a compassionate heart for assisting those in need. Miss Gopal's journey unfolds as a testament to her relentless pursuit of personal and professional growth. Let's welcome your next councillor for the electoral district of Lengua Indian Walk, Miss Nicole Gopal.
Thank you, Chairman Primchan. Good evening to my honorable leader, Ms. Kamala Prasad Bisessa, MP for Muruga Tableland, Ms. Michelle Benjamin, all MPs, Chairman Gori Rupnarayan, and all council of the Princestown Regional Corporation. A special good evening to the residents of the District of Lengua Indian Walk. It is with great pleasure that I stand before you tonight, not only as your candidate for Lengua Indian Walk, but your soon-to-be councillor. Firstly, I want to thank the voters for all their support throughout the recent local election. In addition, I must give thanks to the party screening committee for selecting me as the right person to serve this district. I will also like to thank the former councillor, not forgetting Mr. Rajesh Lal, for the work he did, and I assure you I will continue to serve the district of Lengua Indian Walk. Allow me to update you on our soon-to-be victory as our matter is before the court. I am confident of our victory, as I am in the capable hands of some of the most prominent lawyers in this country. Let me take the time. I will take the time out as well to thank Mr. Ram Logan and his team. Therefore, by this time January, I will be standing in the council as your councillor. Secondly, let me affirm my position that eagerly I await the opportunity to work for you to address all the concerns of the residents of Lengua Indian Walk. I know the roads is an issue. I am aware the landslides are an issue. Also, drains and other infrastructure have its shortfall within this district. Therefore, everything that is within the purview of the Princestown Regional Corporation and its council, I will duly work to address. I am mindful that there are issues that the residents of Lengua Indian Walk faces that is beyond the Princestown Regional Corporation, such as the water challenges or the lack thereof, primary roads and its management, education, healthcare, housing, and employment. I am guaranteeing you that honorable Member of Parliament, Ms. Michelle Benjamin, and I, Nicole Gopal, will work together to lobby the relevant ministries and resolve it. Seeing that you elected Ms. Michelle Benjamin in 2020, we will work together. I pledge to work tirelessly to address these issues, advocating for policies that will uplift our community and create opportunities for everyone to strive. I am doing so. Lengua Indian Walk models can be used as an example for other districts. Your perspectives are invaluable, and I want to ensure you that your voices are heard in the decision-making process that will shape our district's future. Moreover, as we move into a greener society, environmental sustainability is critical, and I am committed to new initiatives that will make our district cleaner and greener. We will engage relevant stakeholders that have interest in investing in parks, green spaces, renewable energy sources to create a healthier environment for generations to come. Together, we are a force that can drive positive change. I encourage each of you to get involved. Share your ideas and be an active participant in growth of our district. Our strength lies in our unity. And so is the United National Congress way of united all creed and race. By working together, we can build a brighter future for all. I am eager to collaborate with every one of you to make our district the best it can be. Let's embark on our journey together, united in purpose and driven by a collective spirit of community. I stay committed to the cause. I fight and I promise to work towards a better community, a better Lengua Indian walk, a better country through the only party that is capable of rescuing us and taking us into the national victory come 2025. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Gopal. Let's give her a round of applause. Lengua, are you feeling the energy this evening? Lengua, are you feeling it? Young, vibrant speakers this evening. As we move on to our next new councillor, let's welcome once again to the mic. Let's bring him on with a round of applause, our new councillor in the Princeton Regional Corporation. Put your hands together and welcome Anwar Rennie, councillor for Hindustan St. Mary's.
Good night, everybody. Good night, brothers and sisters. Just want to say assalamu alaikum to the members of the Lengua Indian Walk. Would like to say a special good night to the political leader, our political leader, the Honorable Kamla Prasad Bisesas, the MP sitting, councillors, aldermen. I would like to thank the burgesses from the area mentioned. As I'd like to get down to the business part of this, Be seen as PNM can't really stomach the losses. We are unable to have any meeting in the corporation, but yet we continue to fight and laze towards making Lengua Indian Walk and the surrounding communities a better area. So getting down into some of the issues that is affecting our area, because I inherited the Lengua, the Hindustan St. Mary's from, our councillor that did such a wonderful job. But the only thing I have inherited that PNM has left behind for the past 8 years is no water, landslip as far as the eyes could see. But yet we are fighting in the struggle to repair some of these. But so far it's been very challenging with little to no release from fundings. Material and everything has becoming more and more challenging. But yet, we, the members of the Regional Corporation for Princeton, continues to fight. And my district, which is the St. Mary's district, we are facing a lot of challenges. No water, landslip. And of lately, we are seeing where the youth has nothing to do and the area has becoming more and more crime infested, as most of the youths now have opted to turn to drugs and stealing as a way of living. But brothers and sisters, I urge you to come out and stand and fight to get rid of this wicked PM government, because we are going deeper and deeper down. In addition to that, basically, this is my maiden speech. I wasn't really prepared to highlight things, but again, I thank you and I urge you all to come out and support and let us get rid of this wicked PNM government led by Dr. Christopher Keith Rowley before 2025. And let us make Trinidad and Tobago great again.
Thank you very much, Councillor Anwar. Give him a round of applause again. Let me take this opportunity to also welcome two of our fighters in Parliament, Senator Naked and of course Senator Jerlene John, who is also here with us. We welcome them and thank them for being here. As we move into our program on this Thursday's Pavement Report, and to share some more blues, is no stranger to the mic. He's no stranger to you all, and he's no stranger to the Princeton Regional Corporation. Let's put our hands together and welcome the present chairman of the Princeton Regional Corporation and the longest serving councillor for the electoral district of New Grant Tablan. Let's welcome Chairman Gauri Rupnarayan.
Thank you, Chairman. Political leader of the United National Congress, Mrs. Kamla Prasad Bisesa, members of Parliament, senators, my fellow councillors, I want to recognize as well the former councillor for Fifth Company and still serving as the vice chairman of the Princeton Regional Corporation, members of the public, good evening. I just have 5 minutes, so I want to make sure I spend that properly. I see several members of Parliament here this evening. When the Minister of Local Government had to reply and make his budget contribution, he spoke about corporations not spending their money. I want to challenge the minister tonight to come to the Princeton Regional Corporation and all the media coverage you use to highlight that statement, bring them to the corporation and show the Princeton Regional Corporation where we did not spend the money. I want to explain to you all this evening, the corporation have to request funding. We have to do the estimate for our projects, whether it is roads, drain, whether we have to purchase vehicles, whatsoever we have to do, we have to make the request. We have to do our estimates and send the request to the ministry. Sending the request to the ministry is then we will get the funding to do these projects. So I want the minister come to Princeton and show me where we did not make the request for the funding that was allocated to the corporation. Every cent was requested for. We did not get the funding. So that is why I want him to show the people of the region of Princeton where we did not spend the money and how we did not spend the money. Councillor Ramdan spoke to you earlier about the market. You know, when we received the check for that market project, the last day of the financial year, 4 o'clock in the evening. That is when we received that check. But thank God for committed workers at the Princeton Regional Corporation. The accounts team worked till 10 o'clock the night on the last financial day to get the market project, to get a few other projects where we received $2.8 million 4 o'clock in the evening on the last day of the financial year. But because of the committed workers and the CEO at the corporation, we was able to put things in place to do those projects. But as a responsible corporation, we still find ways. So with the little funding we get at the corporation, we find ways to do things. We try to spend it wisely. While we could not fix all the roads, we decide to spend money that it could be in the benefit of most of the people in the region. What we did, we purchased an excavator and we was able to eliminate 50% of the flooding within the region of Princeton. We still have floodings in the areas where we depend on the Ministry of Works, where no assistance is coming from. This financial year, we use our funding to purchase another excavator, which is a bigger one. So we will go in now into the major water courses. Yet we will depend on the Ministry of Works for the very big ones. This is what we have been doing as a corporation, as a responsible corporation. While the People's Partnership was in government, you all know how many projects in these areas was done through the Princeton Regional Corporation and even through the different ministries, where I can tell you right in this area, when that road was paving, your councillor then get involved, and even the respect for the religious bodies in this country, the roadway to the mosque get assistance for paving. The minister is now running to Maruga Tablan. They are now planning opening for the Muslim cemetery. I want to tell you something. That Muslim cemetery started when your former member of parliament for Princestown, the late Mr. Clifton Dikoto, started that project while Mrs. Kamla Persad Bissessa was the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. This council continued that fight, and we was able to get that project going with the support of the Muslim community, who had a lot of private business people coming on board. Yes, the ministry have done some work there. That is their duty. They are in government. The regional corporation cannot go and sign off anything at the ministry. They are the ministers. So when they sign that based on the pressure from the corporation, from the councillors, and from the present member of parliament and the Muslim community in this area. So don't let they come down here to fool you now with an opening to say that this is a project of theirs. This was a birth project by the United National Congress. And I want to assure you, the Princestown Regional Corporation will continue, regardless of how long they try to stifle that council. We will work together to ensure that we do the work that our political leader expect of us. I want to commend the young councillors at the corporation. Councillor for Fifth Company, every single day, well, Councillor for Fifth Company and the Councillor for Williamville had bargained Belloman. I don't know if they're running competition, but every single day a few emails come into my office for something in their electoral district. Because while the council not meeting, the councillors are working because they are elected. So while they're not meeting in the council chamber, they are doing their work as councillors. So how long they try to stifle us from having a full constituted council, that will not stop the work of the Princestown Regional Corporation. But ladies and gentlemen, from Maruga Tablan, who lives in this area, you all know how much you benefit when the People's Partnership Government was in office. How much you all benefit from the Princestown Regional Corporation. Before I close, I urge you tonight, do not ever take God out of your thoughts and let anyone try to tell you that it's time for change within our party. The only leader could remove the PNM is Mrs. Kamla Persad Bissessa, and we need to stand firm and to ensure she go back as Prime Minister for the glory days we had from 2010 to 2015. Thank you.
So let's give it up for our Chairman of Council, Councillor Gori Rupnarine. One of the most hardworking councillors I have ever experienced in my political career. So before I move on, I just want to share something with you guys. Any government that attacks education is a government of incompetence and no direction. I quote from the Honorable Kamla Persad Bissessa just in our last Monday night's report. If someone offered you a choice between a laptop or some marijuana for your family, which one would you choose? Who do you think has the best interests of your family in mind with those offers? So guys, I'll leave that for you all to think. I now take this pleasure in inviting my colleague, MP Anil Ram, the MP for Caroni Central, to just bring some greetings. MP.
Thank you, Councillor Primchan. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening to all political leaders, members of parliament, senators, councillors this evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am here just for a quick minute or two to bring some public service announcement on behalf of the political leader and on behalf of our party. We as a party, we must be ready for any elections, and we are ready for the 2025 elections or before. Are we ready? And in preparation of that, ladies and gentlemen, the party wants to ensure your health and your wellness. And to that end, under the patronage of our dear political leader who have guided us, we are about to host our 5K run and 1K walk. Are you aware of this event taking place on December 3rd? So, when the political leader give her blessings in respect of this event, I myself started to strategize. And in strategizing, I started to accumulate all my energy in my abdomen area. So I'm ready on the 3rd to contest any one of you at the 5K run and 1K walk. So registration is very easy. Everything is online. I've also distributed some flyers for you so that you can get the required information. Now, you can register online using your credit card. If you are not in possession of a credit card, you can purchase a promo code from MP Michelle Benjamin or myself, and then you go online and you register. This race, it starts and ends at the Chaguanas Borough Corporation. It's starting at 4 p.m. It's on Sunday, the 3rd of December, 2023. I hope to see each and every one of you there to participate and to be part of this healthy lifestyle promoted by United National Congress. I thank you this evening for the opportunity to present this public service announcement on behalf of the United National Congress.
Lengua, how are you feeling? So before I move on to MP Charles, just want to share with you, I have been giving you all some little clippets, what my political leader would have stated in the last Monday night report. And coming out from those reports, I try to keep those notes, I share it on my social media. And, we try to educate our burgesses on what is really happening nationally, not only within our districts, but nationally. So I take this opportunity now to move on to our next speaker by introducing the Honorable Rodney Charles, the MP for Naparima. Rodney Charles is a veteran of the energy sector, spending 20 years at senior and management levels at National Petrotrin. At NP, he pioneered the long-deferred service station upgrade, including the development of a string of convenience stores known as quick shops. He was also an adjunct lecturer at University of New Brunswick and Roytech, and a head of department and academic dean at Costart, where he started the School of Journalism and Public Relations, now known as the Ken Gordon School of Journalism and Communication Studies. He served as TNT's ambassador to the United Nations and was instrumental in TNT now holding the position of president of the UN General Assembly. Based on his efforts as ambassador, in 2027, TT will be seated as one of 10 non-permanent members of the UN Security Council. Since 2015, he served as Shadow Minister of Foreign Affairs and National Security. Tonight, it is my pleasure to invite to the podium my MP for Naparima, the Honorable Rodney Charles.
Thank you very much, sir. My colleague, Councillor. Cedar Hill, what's the name again? Current Cedar Hill, the Councillor. Now, political leader of the United National Congress, Mrs. Kamala Prasad Bisesa, Senior Counsel, my fellow MPs, and I see two senior MPs, senior members of the party, deputy political leaders. I see senators. I see the chairman, the hard-working chairman of the Princeton Regional Corporation. I see councillors. I see aldermen. And I see my good friend, my colleague MP, Mrs. Michelle Benjamin. Give her a round of applause. Now, I was sitting next to Michelle, but I was scared because Michelle just beat men. She beat Gypsy. Up to now, Gypsy can't run a good carnival. She have him tizzick. She have him Bazodi. She beat Lovell run. Lovell quite in South Africa. He take in front and he run when he hear Michelle around. And when she was a counselor, she beat a fella called Rayal Thomas. I hear he going off. He talking to himself with the licks. And you see Michelle, she training a set of women to beat people. I see Miss Nicole Gopal. She come here and she has shared licks. The workers see me to get her out of the thing, and she going to beat them, whether it's in the courts or whether it is an election. Right? So I am here today hopeful that Princeton Regional Corporation, every councillor is going to be from the United National Congress. And that is why, come hell or high water, whatever they do, we have to go out in full force and show them, that Lengua Indian Walk is we own. It belongs to the United National Congress. It was conceived by the UNC. We christened it in the UNC. We baptized it in the UNC. We did puja in the UNC. And we did our Islamic prayers so that it will remain with the United National Congress. Now, I'd be a little jealous of Michelle, because she's in a marginal constituency and she's got all the resources. They're fixing road, bridge, landslip, all kind of thing. In Naparima is a safe seat. So they know they could do whatever they want. They can't win. Naparima born lockdown UNC. But Maruga Tableland under Michelle will become a safe UNC seat. So tonight I'm hopeful. I'm sad because we're suffering under the yoke of the People's National Movement and their wicked leader, Keith Christopher Rowley. They have damaged our country. They have destroyed our reputation internationally. Let me tell you, internationally, Trinidad and Tobago is a joke. It gives us no pleasure to say that. But internationally, Trinidad and Tobago is a joke. Countries left, right, and center telling their citizens, don't come to Trinidad. The United States Travel Advisory say, if you can help it, do not come to Trinidad because of crime. Not only the United States, Canada telling their citizens don't come. The United Kingdom telling the people don't come. Australia telling the citizens beware Trinidad. New Zealand telling the citizens don't come. And Rowley had the effrontery to hold a news conference and say that diplomatically we have excelled in the global village. Nothing could be further from the truth. Brothers and sisters, imagine one diplomat, a German, right, was a victim of crime recently. And we have reports that 3 Saudi diplomats were robbed in Port of Spain less than 2 months ago, and they hide it, they sweep it under the carpet. So we ask tonight, Dr. Rowley, tell us if 4 Saudi diplomats were victims of crime in Trinidad and Tobago. Because it means 2 countries, Germany and Saudi Arabia, know about the crime in Trinidad, in our country. You know we are labeled the 6th most criminal country in the world. And we said that that is the PNM legacy for Trinidad and Tobago. That is what they tell they have done to us. It is not only travel advisories, brothers and sisters. The U.S. State Department on Human Rights put us on a watch list. We on a watch list. That is, if we don't improve, we're going to be on a negative list. We are also on a United States trafficking in persons report. Bottom of the thing. There are agencies that rank countries. Moody's is one. Moody's rank Trinidad our finances. Moody's rank us as BA2 in July this year. Just July. BA2. You know what BA2 is? One level above junk. Nobody is going to invest in Trinidad because our ranking is one level above junk. Now, those of us who are old here will know about Sanford and Sons. Well, our Minister of Finance come and boast in Parliament that we got a stable outlook. When we read it, we see we one step above junk. So it reminds me of Sanford, buying and selling junk. That is what they have done to our great country. Standards and Poor rate us B minus. Nobody is investing in Trinidad and Tobago. You know what? Under Kamala Persad-Bissessar, we had inflows of foreign investments. Now we have outflows. And people, you know a fella called Philip Alexander? Well, you know he have problem paying money. Million to import a couple millions or somebody else to sue him in court for defamation. He gave up. And he said, you know what? Anybody who could help it in Trinidad, migrate, boss it, leave the country. And here we have people seriously considering leaving our country. Trinidad and Tobago is in problems, significant problems. It was my friend from Councillor Laurent who said that there's fire and there's a problem. Let me tell you something. World data tells us that if an appliance does not arrive at a fire in under 6 minutes, it is a waste of time. 6 minutes, and that is in United States and in England, where they have concrete buildings. We have wooden buildings. And when I drive in Princestown at the fire station, I see one appliance. And I ask if there is a fire in Marak. 6 minutes they have to get there to make an impact. How long will it take that appliance to get to Marak? With pothole all over the place and landslip all over the place. So we have a whole fire service for decoration. It does look nice. And people, officers, FSSO, fire substation officer, FSO, fire station officer, divisional officer, big name and rank, and no appliance. My colleague in Mayaro said that no appliance in Mayaro. So we in joke in Trinidad. We have an Air Force. An Air Guard. I am told we have 2 planes. One is a helicopter and a fixed-wing plane. We have about 300 people for 2 planes. And that is a joke in Trinidad. A joke in Trinidad. But tonight, I want to talk serious business. I want you to listen carefully. What Rowley is doing to our country. And let me tell you before I start, I have nothing against migrants in our country. As a human being, as a country that has the great religions of planet Earth, Islam, Christianity, Hinduism, and Orisha, we will help our brothers in Venezuela. But the PNM is creating a crisis for Trinidad and Tobago under our very eyes. And my advice to you tonight is tell your children to learn Spanish. Habla español, por favor, porque es más importante para aprender el idioma. You have to learn Spanish, and I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Venezuela is laying claim to 2/3 of Guyana. Anybody, you all read about that? 2/3 of Guyana, they laying claim. But you know what? They have also, let me say this easy, they have also laid claim to Trinidad and Tobago. It was no less a person than the Prime Minister at the last conference that he had, news conference. He said that there are maps, official maps that he has seen, which has Trinidad and Tobago as part of Venezuela. So it is not only Guyana, it is all a we. All a we. Now let me tell you, they may say it's Charles talking. But Eric Williams, the founding father of Trinidad and Tobago, warned us in 1970 at a PNM convention that we had to be careful about the Venezuelan colonial aspirations for Trinidad and Tobago. And that is why when they had the Black Power riots, remember that? You heard about that in 1970? With Granger and them. Many of you weren't around, but I was a big old man even then. Right? So I heard, you were there. When we had the coup and the army, Rafik Shah and them fellas had revolted, the Venezuelans said, we want to send in troops to help you and aircraft to help you. Eric Williams said, no, stay outside. Send the guns, but don't come in. And the reason why he did that was because, as a historian, he knew that Venezuela, once they land in Trinidad and Tobago, they ain't going back. So Eric Williams warned us, this is not make-up thing. It is, I could bring documented evidence where Eric said, be careful. So, in fact, it was Selwyn Rand's book, Eric the Man and the Myth. He was unwilling to embrace Venezuelans, and he did not allow them to land troops in Trinidad and Tobago because of this concern. Now, I want to tell you, of all the Caribbean countries, Guyana faces the threat, number one, and guess who's second? We second. We second. We have the most to lose if that dispute does not work out. But hear the story. Eric Williams didn't want troops to come into Trinidad. Documented. You know what this PNM government allowed? Probably, how much Venezuelans we have? Maybe 60,000, maybe 5,000, maybe 300, maybe 100,000. Right? So we have 100,000, probably, Venezuelans in Trinidad and Tobago. And we understand that that could be a problem down the line. I'll tell you why. According to Venezuelan law, every male, when he reaches 18 years, has to register to join the army, the Guardia Nacional. They go for 2 years. They have to serve. Now, this I've read, where it's about 200,000 Venezuelans reach the age of 18 every year. But out of that, 50,000 join the army, and they spend 2 years of national service, and then they go about their business. How are we so sure? I asked the question tonight. How are we so sure that among the Venezuelans in Trinidad are army-trained, top-of-the-line Venezuelan ex-soldiers? So when the Venezuelan army is a serious army with serious weapons, serious guns. So you see the fella walking down the road and you smiling and think, no, I'm not saying Venezuelans are bad. And I'm not saying that good cannot come out of this relationship. But I'm saying we have to be careful. Not so? We can't wake up one day and realize that we have a problem. Now, here the other problem. Venezuelans are not treated the best in our country. We know stories. We know stories about Venezuelans, how they're suffering and things. What is to stop a future Venezuelan government from saying we don't like the way Trinidad and Tobago treat our citizens and we go in there to protect our citizens and take it over? It might be, people will say these conspiracy theories, but in a serious country, we have to think about these things and factor them into our planning as we move forward. There is an axiom in geopolitics. I'll give you a little bit. I was at the UN, so I'll give you some geopolitics. They say if you are next to a powerful neighbor and that neighbor sneezes, what happened to the smaller country? They catch a cold. They catch a cold. So we suffering from COVID, geopolitical COVID, or geopolitical influenza, and we do not know it. The PNM has adopted an ostrich-like posture. We see nothing, we know nothing, we see Venezuelans, we hope it work out, we hope they married people like Michelle and that, and the problem resolved. But it may not work that way. So here what? We going into dragon gas. We ain't getting no gas yet, you know. They say gas is going to come in 2026. 2026, eh? I might be dead. 2026, we might get first gas. What that means, let's assume we get the gas. And now our energy sector is tied to Venezuelan gas, right? Venezuela at any point could turn off the gas if they don't like how we behaving, if we get uppity, if we get fast, if we decide to support Guyana, Venezuela could turn off the gas. And this happened with Germany. When Germany wanted to help Ukraine, Russia provided gas to Germany, and Russia turned off the gas. And Germany went through a period of difficulty. And all I'm saying is we have to think these things through. The PNM could get away with incompetence in Trinidad and Tobago, but they cannot put Trinidad and Tobago's future at risk because of their incompetence. And further, the United States has told Venezuela that if you do not hold free and fair elections in 2024, we put in back the sanctions. So we traveling, Stuart Young and them talking and they do, you know, up to now, we get more from Guyana than we get from Venezuela. Not so? We have Trinidadians working in Guyana. We have business and investment in Guyana. The Guyanese vice president said Guyana pays our international, they provide us with foreign exchange because our businessmen go there, make money, collect foreign exchange, come to Trinidad, use the foreign exchange to buy imports for us. You see, I'm sorry to put you through this kind of geopolitical discourse, but it is important because we must know what is happening. And I don't want anybody to say, I am saying hysteria against Venezuelans. As I said, we are a Christian, Islamic, Hindu, Orisha, right? A people, spiritual people, and we help. But when you help, you have your eyes open and you know the consequences of what you are doing. So hear what? The UNC has been calling on the PNM for a migrant policy, a migrant refugee policy. It must be humane. It must be consistent with international treaty arrangements because there are international conventions on migrants and on refugees, how you treat their children, whether their children have access to hospitals. And let me also tell you something. If you notice, doctors are telling me that 1 in every 4 births in Trinidad and Tobago is through Venezuela. They are citizens of Trinidad and Tobago entitled to the same rights as you and me. And I'm saying you cannot have citizens being treated as second-class citizens. And the courts last week ruled that we didn't treat them well and that we had to pay them, I think it's $2-point-something million. That is the consequence of an inept government that does not understand foreign policy and is playing Mickey Mouse with our future. So first we call for humane migrant policies that seeks to integrate Venezuelan residents into our society, and it recognizes the limits of our absorptive capacity. We can't take in everybody. So who we take in, we have a limit, and we treat them consistent with international best practices. Secondly, we need a complete lockdown of our borders so that our social services are not overwhelmed. Dr. Rowley said he went on a Coast Guard vessel and he spent a night. And they probably worked that night. But we know that most of the vessels are tied up in Stobles Bay. And we call on Dr. Rowley, get the bloody boats out in the sea, protecting our coast. The third thing we call on Dr. Rowley and his government, we need an inventory of which migrants are here. Who is here? Who is here? How many men? How many women? How many engineers? How many doctors? How many technocrats? How many energy experts? If we know that, we could integrate them into our society and they could even help us with our challenges. We do not have forensic pathologists. I am told we have Venezuelan forensic pathologists pumping gas in gas station in Trinidad and Tobago. You see the nonsense that's going on in this country? The fourth thing we ask of Dr. Rowley is that the Venezuela-Guyana crisis, see it as an opportunity to use our skills, to be world-class diplomats. Eric did it. Dr. Rowley cannot do it. He is friends of Venezuela and friends of Guyana. Oh God. They call it interlocutory skills. Put them together and help them resolve the issue. You can't play words and dance. You have to frontally call for a meeting with Maduro and the Guyanese and let them sort it out. Trinidad and Tobago will be a great first world country for doing that. And lastly, we should use whatever leverage we have at Venezuela to help them move towards free and fair elections. If they do not have fair elections next year, sanctions reimposed by the United States. And it means Dragon Gas is in trouble. So we could use this crisis to help us. We can use our migrant population not only to fill crucial skills gaps in our country, but also to serve as a catalyst for exploring trade and other links, not only with Venezuela, but South and Latin America. In other words, use the Venezuelans because they trade. There's a fish and thing, and they bring in goat and all kind of thing. That is the start of a trade. Well, oh God, use them so that we could develop trade with South and Latin America. That is what a sensible country would do. So, those of us who know foreign policy and those who know about serious government know that Dr. Rowley and they is playing fast and loose with our future. And one day we will wake up and realize that it is más importante para nosotros aprender el idioma español, because we may very well end up unwittingly screaming and kicking un estado de la República de Venezuela. Thank you.
Thank you very much, MP Rodney Charles. Give MP Rodney Charles a round of applause. He's never afraid to pack the punches in Parliament, on the streets, even on this Thursday Pavement report. So we thank him once again. Thank you very much, MP Rodney Charles. You know, in any war, I wouldn't say no missiles, I would say in MP Charles. Ladies and gentlemen, before I bring on our next speaker, you know, it's really important to remember, and I want you all to just remember the days when we were in government. I want you to remember the infrastructure that we had. Remember the schools, the laptops, the children life on. Our political leader had a vision. She had strategy. That is why we won the local government elections. The PNM, ladies and gentlemen, is collapsing. Everything in this country, if you look, you drive, and you look, or if you just look up on the sky, you would see everything is just collapsing. But we must thank our political leader for opening nominations for general elections as we get ready to get back in government in 2025. We must thank her. Ladies and gentlemen, before I bring on our next speaker, I know there was an emergency for someone needed to come out. PEC 8375, you're blocking. So I will just ask that if you could remove your vehicle if you have not done that already. So ladies and gentlemen, we must thank all our speakers so far. They are young, they are vibrant, they share the same vision. Let's give them a round of applause. They share the same vision of our leader. And that, that's what makes our leader a leader, Look at what we have now. But look at the Honorable Kamla Prasad Bisesa when she was there with her team and her cabinet and what was achieved at that point in time. And that makes a difference. Passion. Passion is what makes the difference. Ladies and gentlemen, our next speaker is currently the Member of Parliament for the constituency of Muruga Tabelland. She has diligently and effectively served 2 terms between 2016 and 2020 as a councillor for the district of Hindustan St. Mary's. She is a holder of a diploma and a BSc. Being a public servant for all of her working life, Ms. Benjamin is driven by her own aspirations in transforming her community and country into a safe and developed space for her and her constituents. Since 2020, MP Michelle Benjamin has been shadowing the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and the Arts. Let us put our hands together and welcome our tenacious and diligent daughter of the soil. She is a young, vibrant and true warrior. Let us welcome the warrior princess, MP Michelle Benjamin.
I'm sorry for Trinidad. Big snakes in the country, man, they worse than my pity. When they're making the racket, they just dress up in nice jacket. Some big fat mackerel, drink out the oil in the oil well. I don't know how they found the key, but I hear they empty the treasury. Snake in the Alizé. Snake in the Alizé.
Thank you, DJ. Good afternoon, Muruga Tabelland. Let me hear you. I want to say good afternoon to my honorable political leader. And I know she's the next Prime Minister. To all my parliamentary colleagues, the chairman of the Princeton Regional Corporation, and all my young and dynamic councillors, you heard them here on the pavement tonight. A special good afternoon to the residents of the district of Lengua, Indian Walk. We are here in your community tonight. And to my constituents, Muruga Tabelland, I love you and good night. We heard the song, Snake in the Balize. It speaks about what? PNM mismanagement. PNM, they don't manage, they just mismanage. PNM don't manage, they just destroy. Snake in the Balize. I want to give you a little snapshot of that song. This song was sung by the Mighty Shadow and was recorded in 1982, 41 years ago. This is the sum total of the PNM. Snakes in the Balize. I am sorry for Trinidad. I know you heard the chorus. The snakes have been filling their pockets since then, and that is still being executed and done today. I can reference even further the Mighty Sparrow sang in 1982,
1982, you know what he said? We like it so, but in Murga Tableland, we don't like it so. And that song spoke about the absolute mismanagement of our hospitals, our healthcare system, the food price, the cost of living. And that song is still relevant today. Is abundance and corruption, a failing agricultural sector. Tell me if anything is different today. It is not. But generally, each song spoke about the high cost of living. And this PNM government, people, we cannot survive underneath it. Allow me to add as well, the father of soca, Rashoti I sang in 1984. Money are no problem, so we have the resources. Why are we suffering in our own country? That is the question I here to ask tonight. Why? Because of the snakes in the Balize. Sorry for Trinidad. Mind you, these songs are 40, plus years old. These songs are older than I. And the Calypsonians have always been our historians. They tell our stories, and they have been telling it since then. Why haven't we not listened and gotten rid of the snakes in the Balize? Let us identify the common thread, as I said. The trend among those songs is mismanagement, corruption, nepotism. You can't get a job if you're not related to a PNM. This is what PNM is good for. Some would say what they stand for. And today nothing has changed. I tell you, PNM stands for promises never materialize. Snake in the Balize. Only dear friends and dear family benefit, while the rest of us in this sweet country, we suffer. I stand here tonight to tell you about the snakes in the Balize. And you know what the snakes in the Balize doing? They are thieving by the millions, and in some cases, by the billions. In Murga Tableland, in the last local government elections, just as my colleague would have alluded to the fact, they tried to win a district, and in trying to do so, they spend millions. But on August the 14th, Murga Tableland told them that we don't want no snake in the Balize. I want to take this opportunity to thank all my constituents in Murga Tableland, all the activists, all the foot soldiers, the chairman of the executive, and the members. I want to thank my then candidates and now councillors. As always, we are a team, and a team committed to work for the people of Murga Tableland. PNM will never, and I say never. My colleague said he's hoping. I telling you, they will never have a seat in the Princeton Regional Corporation. Not today, not tomorrow, not next week. And I want them to listen. Princeton Corporation don't facilitate the snake in the Balize. Lengua Indian Walk. Soon, what you already know, because we was robbed on the night, they didn't declare your councillor. But soon, your councillor, Ms. Nicole Gopal, will be declared. And I have a line here, all things being equal, because sometimes they like to say, is a PNM country. So all things being equal in court. But come what may, she will be declared. We are ready to fight with you and for you. Anywhere you want it, whether it's on the pavement, in the ballot box, we will fight. Nicole. Councillor Nicole, put some respect to it. Councillor Nicole. Tell them, Murga Tableland, I want to point out, you see, when I take a podium, and I want you to bear with me tonight, when I take a podium, yes, we have national issues. Look, Tiantek announced a blackout. I stand up here before you on this podium. My neighbor, one house across the road was robbed this afternoon. So I studied how I going home. Tiantek announced what? A blackout for when? Saturday. I I'm frightened. I am asking not only my constituents, but Trinidad and Tobago at large, be careful. I don't know what this government, but they have us as sitting ducks. All our lights will be off, so it's fair play, fair parang. My councillor told you, in Muruga Tablan we know about paranging, but this PNM government, they have a parang ban out. Since 2015, they put out a parang ban of criminals plagiarizing this country. And as I said, bear with me tonight, because I'm here to point out the snake in the balize. And I use that terminology to bring to you in context projects that was executed in Muruga Tablan. And each, if you go and do a site visit, you will watch it and say, that $90 million? I'm wondering. So I started there. Tonight I address matters of great concern to the hard-working citizens of Muruga Tablan. Had it been a UNC government in power, I would have been standing to tell you a different tale. I would have been telling you about grand projects, projects to come, projects already executed. But as I said, it is with a heavy heart I bring to your attention outrageous mismanagement that has marked our constituency with failed projects, one after the next. Mind you, none of these projects has met the mandate or the promises. However, the money continues to flow. It either goes in a pocket or in a snake hole. You see, there are several white elephants in Muruga Tablan. Mr. Bellman, you live 2 streets away from one. Saunders Trace, the agro-processing facility. Mr. Bellman, I say ring the bell because you know what I'm about to say. When you visit that facility, do you see $90 million? Or do you stand up and wonder, that is $90 million? Has that facility employed any of our constituents? Ring the bell, Mr. Bellman. The promises made to the people were grand. The ribbon cutting cost the taxpayers, but is nothing but disappointment after. Election coming again in 2025, and the snakes in the balize once again coming to try to convince you to vote for them. But just remember, it's 8 years of suffering, 8 years of pain, 8 years of not knowing if you will have a job tomorrow. So we're telling those snakes, we don't like it so. Only them want to eat our food, as we say in local parlance. It's too much a snake. The next project I want to highlight, and the ribbon cutting ceremony coming soon, is the Muruga Fishing Facility. Now, anybody knows the history of this facility, it was promised even before I was born. They started in the election year of 2020. Now, this facility was meant to be a catalyst of growth for the fishing sector. But I want to tell you, this facility is nothing but an insult to the fishing folk in Muruga Tablan. At $60+ million, this facility should have been completed, but more than that, more doubtfully, it will not meet its mandate. Is a next snake in the balize. When you stand up, you want to know where the $60 million gone. Our hard-working fishing community deserves better, and we must press into action a unified community with the fortitude to hold this PNM government accountable. Which snake in the balize benefited? And I want to take you to the biggest robbery in broad daylight, $178 million awarded for the Muruga Road. This was awarded in 2017. 2017 was 6 years ago. The minister is on record of recently, 3 weeks to a month ago. You know what he said? That $178 million is the date, 300, not 3 million, $300 million. I want to ask a question, and I want a response. does the roadway in the constituency of Murga Tableland reflect $300 million? I know everyone seated here took a car, a van. They didn't take any plane. I know MP Charles said we have 2 planes in the air guard. But I know everyone drove on those roads. And if you weren't careful, I might have had to call a wrecker, which would have happened in several meetings before, to go and meet persons to hike them out. Right on your way to this meeting is one of the greatest precipices right on by Lengua Memorial. So I know you drove. So you know that $300 million. Where it went? A snake in the balize. Somebody pocketing with money. And I get into that point. The Minister of Works have to account to the citizens, to the constituents of Murga Tableland. But here this one. In Murga Tableland, there are 2 projects that was awarded 3 times. There is a landslip in front of the Rock River RC Primary School. That landslip was awarded 3 times. And each time, mind you, and hear me out, each time is a different contractor. Is this a tale of contractor glory, or is this a feeding frenzy on the treasury? But who pocketing the money? Where is our tax dollars going? Another tale of contractor glory or feeding frenzy is just after Mingot Street in Bastia. This landslip has also been awarded 3 times. I know and you know, if you call a man to even stick a tile, you're asking him, you sure that tile will last? If that tile fall out in 3 months, I want a refund. This government apparently not putting any contingency clause in the contract. So I can't blame the contractor. I blame the Minister of Works. Why is the same job being done over and over, and our money is being spent over and over? But it is being pocketed, I tell you. I tell you, it's snake in the balize. I want to point out another snake in the balize. We started 2015 with a phase 1. We end up with a phase 2. 2025, they want to bring a phase 3 in Gomez Trace, Ridgeview. I am telling you, they can't fix the sewer. They have houses. You ever see a house split in 2? Go in phase 2 in Gomez Trace. You ever see a contractor jack up a building, cut the pillars, and rest back down the building, and then the building? I tell you about snake in the balize. And on top of that, the same persons they put to voter pad, as my colleague said, they thought they could cut Michelle. They tried to voter pad. They want to voter pad again. The same persons, you know, they're sending out eviction notice. I'm telling you, a snake in the balize. Like that set didn't vote for them, so they want to bring in a next set. A snake in the balize. I'm telling you, a snake. Let me identify. Now, eyeshadow tourism. I want to mention a little bit about Murga Tableland tourism. Our local tourism is being hindered. And why is it being hindered? And it is an industry that could create employment. It is being hindered because of the poor infrastructure. Because of the poor infrastructure, many of you seated here may not have been to the Murga Pitch Lake. Many of you seated here probably just think twice to go to the Cocoa Museum because of the road. Many of you seated here when last you went to Larafin by the Spring Bridge. Many of you seated here when last you went and take in the scenic beauty that is the Devil's Woodyard facility. When last? To name a few, why these sites are not being patronized is because of the deplorable road condition. I am certain it is because of the massive landslips that is a major deterrent to local tourists and residents, creating a frustration when the day comes. Conversely, today I bring news of hope. to encourage residents of Lengua Indian Walk that the light of hope shines bright. Come 2025, we will fix our communities, we will fix our constituency, and we will take back our country, Trinidad and Tobago. Hold the faith, hold on, don't be dismayed. The UNC government is what is needed for a betterment in this country. We are the next government, and they are frightened. I tell you, they are frightened, hence the reason the snakes are trying to pad their pockets. Tonight, we are in Lengua Indian Walk. Lengua Indian Walk, I feel your pain. I know your pain all too well. I would have visited every landslip. I know how much houses we have lost. In such areas as Sadat Road, Diamond Road, Realize, Lengua, Samuel Cooper, Six Company, Perry Young, Madingo Road. It could be said that over 80% of this electoral district has deplorable roads. The Minister of Rural Development, and as his political leader said, Faris, 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 stated recently in Parliament, Sadat Road will be restarted in 3 weeks. And up to now, no contractor has returned to Sadat Road. But I want to tell you a little history about Sadat Road, because they're on the ground creating mischief, thinking they have a hope in Lengua Indian Walk. But more than that, it seems as though the people of Sadat Road are being punished. A contractor came and put up a board the 15th of June 2022 and claimed that the project will be completed in 4 months, the 15th of October 2022. We are 1 year, 5 months, and 8 days. That board is there. The road is the same. Nothing is being done. A bigger question is, has this contractor been paid? Did he collect my dollars and your dollars? To find out this, my office has filed a Freedom of Information request. I want to know, to report back to the residents of Sadat Road, why are they being penalized and victimized by this government? This situation is not unique to Sadat Road, but throughout the constituency of Muruga Tablan, namely Warwell and Lonely Road. Remember, I told you to hold on. Yes, the snake in the balize, there are many, and they are biting hard. But remember, joy cometh in the morning. I want to tell you, when the United National Congress forms the next government, we will be building the communities in Muruga Tablan. We will be putting in place fire stations. We will be making sure that Muruga has a 24-hour health facility. That will be done in Rocha Douglas Road. We will also be building one in Tablan. I want to tell you, communities, and I see my brother, Mr. Shahid Alaham, seated here, in need of community centers, will receive community centers. I give you that undertaking, and that will be accomplished when the United National Congress takes office come 2025. Amongst us, we have our deputy political leader, Ms. Jolene John. And I like to call her a woman of action. And one thing I know that is coming when we win government in 2025, because I was told to submit the manifesto for Muruga Tablan, and I'm telling you, when we meet, and we continue to meet like this, you will see it unfold. That same fishing facility that they're going and play the open, I will make it a hub for entrepreneurs, a place where people could get employment, not just in the Muruga area, but communities on the outskirts. I am going to make sure that agro facility really do some processing. I am telling you, underneath the United National Congress, all our schools will be upgraded. Programs will be put in place. NASC and MIC will return to our communities and our community centers. These at some of the things. Security and safety and health is first and top of my agenda. I will fix the Pitikafe Health Center, not just the parking, but upgrade it. I will make sure that these projects are executed. Murga Tablan, we will benefit from employment, the jobs that will be created by the United National Congress. As we continue to meet, as I said, more plans will be unfold because we are on this pavement report, not just to talk national issues, but to report to you, our constituents, and tell you what the first 100 days of us being in government will entail, what you will see in the first year of government and the second year. My deputy political leader will have that listing, and as we meet, I'm telling you, you will get the plans. Murga Tablan, we are coming to fix. They are rough paving, I would say rough patching our roads. You will see what true paving is, not what that secondary road company did in Gomez Trace. You ever see a government give a contractor to pave over 4 landslips that is affecting 10 houses? I am telling you, go Gomez Trace and you will see what this government is doing. But when we take office in 2025, and now the lion is coming to roar, you will hear about the projects, you will hear about the plans. But one thing I love about the lion, he coming to roar and to bite Rowley. So I want to clear way in Murga Tablan. So I clear in way. Come.
Snake in the Palisade, and they biting hard. Snake in the Palisade, I'm sorry for Trinidad.
Well, you know I can't dance, so I just standing. So guys, I see my colleague Councillor Derek had branded our MP, the warrior princess, and you know I can't agree more. We must give her a next round of applause. You know, I campaigned with her in 2020, and I will tell you, I couldn't keep up. This young lady here was very energetic on the road. I now see why she would have given them fellas and I'm a good beating for that 2020 elections. I just want to touch again on one or two. I know MP would have touched on the landslips and the disasters in this area. But you know, coming up here through Realized Road, and I would have taken the Bodnaff Road, the Siparo main road there, taken that Bodnaff strip straight up to Realized Road, and it is one of the most deplorable roads. I really thought Papori Road was bad, but when I passed through this road here, it was terrible. You know, I know time is limited, but I'll just touch on a little on self-help. The Commission for Self-Help has now become a commission for no help, especially for UNC constituencies and districts, as disaster victims and other applicants who applied over 8 years remains on a so-called waiting list for implementation. I am calling on the chairman of the Commission for Self-Help to stop this discrimination, as government ministers are seen publicly distributing these grants to their respective constituencies while the rest of the country suffers. So who are really benefiting from these grants? And you know, our MP has brought to light many of these issues where persons would have lost their homes. You would see it on TikTok, you would see it on social media. MP Michelle has been really on the go, highlighting these issues to the government. The government is clueless, they remain clueless. Today, thousands remain affected and on the breadline. Persons visiting my office are literally begging for food hampers, recommendations for food cards and disability grants, and are yet to receive any assistance from this wicked government. The people who are dependent on these grants are now left to suffer as the minister continues to mislead the population into believing that they are reassessing and investigating. The people are suffering, mothers are crying for assistance, food assistance for their children, fathers are begging for jobs. This wicked PNM government couldn't care less. They raised food prices not once but a few times after. This PNM is about helping themselves and not the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Our economy remains in a mess. The PNM government has created no job opportunities in the last 8 years. This has not stopped them from unfairly sending home thousands of workers directly or costing them their jobs through poor economic planning. This has had a disastrous impact on our social fabric and can easily explain patterns of crime that we are now seeing in increasing numbers. The government lacks creative vision and innovation. To date, unemployment remains very high, as burgesses are now lining up in their hundreds for 10 days at the Princeton Regional Corporation. Thousands remain on the breadline. There are many questions to be answered by this government. The list of failures continues as we struggle for good government, good governance, and to bring representation to you, the people, under these difficult times. I now ask my colleague here, my co-host, to introduce our next speaker.
Thank you very much, Councillor Sean. Our next speaker, having spent his entire adult life in the field of politics, Dr. Monilal served as a senior minister of government known for his dedication to public service and extensive experience in industrialization, labor relations, national security, and housing. First cum laude distinction in the history of the PhD program, Industrialization, Labor Relations, and Urban Employment at the Institute of Social Studies. A part-time tutor and lecturer at the University of the West Indies and the ISS. Dr. Monilal has an impressive educational background comprising 4 tertiary-level academic degrees. The first youth and education officer of the United National Congress at the Memorial Club 88 launch rally at Arangwes in 1988. A government senator in 2001 and elected member of parliament in 2002. Dr. Monilal is a luminary in the political arena with over 22 years of experience, parliamentary experience. Today he has emerged as one of the region's most competent and formidable parliamentary debaters and is currently a deputy political leader of the United National Congress. Lengua, when I say lion, you say raw. Lion! 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 Please welcome the Lion of Oropochi's, Dr. Rudal Monilal.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, for the very warm and energized welcome to the podium. Political leader, the Honorable Kamla Prasad Bisessa, Deputy Political Leader, Senator the Honorable Jerlene John, members of the National Executive, Member of Parliament for the constituency of Naparima, the very distinguished Rodney Charles, Host Member of Parliament, Ms. Michelle Benjamin from the Maruga Tableland constituency, and I'll say more about this warrior princess in a bit. Members of Parliament, the Honorable Anil Ram is here with us as well. The Honorable Ravi Ratiram is also in our midst. Executive members of this constituency, activists, supporters, all assembled here. Viewers and listeners on our social media platforms throughout Trinidad and Tobago, in the Caribbean, in North America. Special hello to our supporters in Canada, in New York, in Miami, and across the Caribbean. Tonight I'm very pleased to be here. Members of the press, I welcome you as well as members of the protective services that are here this evening. It is my great honor and privilege to address you at this very important Pavement meeting, Pavement report in the constituency of Maruga Tableland. I ask you to give a warm round of applause to our sister Michelle Benjamin for the wonderful work that she has been doing in the parliament and in the constituency. Brothers and sisters, we have reignited the Pavement report so that we can return to the constituencies on a weekly basis to educate, to inform, to agitate, to organize our constituencies as we prepare for war, as we prepare for battle, as we prepare for struggle against this dictatorship of Rowley. It is very important that we speak to the issues and we speak the truth and we educate the population. An important function of a political party is something called political education. To educate the people on what is happening. Today, the United National Congress is the most dynamic, well-organized political party in opposition in the entire Caribbean. In the entire Caribbean. In the Caribbean, I have studied politics for many, many years. Generally, in the Caribbean, when a party goes into opposition, the party goes to sleep for 5 years. And when the election year comes, the party wake up. And when the party wake up, you can't find the people who went to sleep. Because at the front set come by then. This is a party that has been on the boil, that has been mobilizing, activated, working under the leadership of Kamla Persad-Bissessar and the executive of this party. No party in the Caribbean does this. Jerlene John is spearheading our communication campaign. Jerlene John is like a general on the ground. Sunday morning press conference, midweek press conference, Thursday pavement report, Monday night report. Which political party does that? Man, not even a government party could make that. And they have all the resources. They have all the people struggling along with the different make work programs and so on. But the UNC is on the move. We are on the move, and you must give a round of applause to the political leader, the Honorable Kamla Persad-Bissessar and her team. When I ask the organizers, I say, is there any problem? You want help? You want anything going wrong? And they say, boss, everything under control, you know. We have everything under control. It is only the UNC can say that, can do that in every community. And next week we roll into, I believe it's Chaguanas West, Jolene, or East. Chaguanas East next week for our pavement. Next week, Monday, we are in St. Joseph. We are on the boil. We are on the move. So I want to tell you, do not take the old talk and the commerce and couture, you know. People like to make couture and thing in politics, huh? The political leader announced the other night, she said, we open for nomination. Well, by the Guardian, another newspaper, the Guardian in particular, they see that as a recipe for couture. They start, who running, who not running, who walking, who creeping, who crawling. They start with that bacchanal already. I'll tell you something. Do not get tied up in bacchanal and commerce. There is one political leader here. Her term of office will run until 2025. There is no vacancy. There is no room. And today I tell all those with ambition, wherever they are, don't be delusional. Don't be delusional. Don't get set up. I want to tell you, William Shakespeare said, he said ambition should be made of stern stuff. So when you have ambition, you should come with stern stuff. Remember that. And don't be delusional. And I put it on the table immediately before I really begin some of the issues. The PNM has a history. They have a history of seeking to infiltrate, whether it's the ULF, whether it's the NAR, whether it's the UNC, of infiltrating, sometimes with people who were members of the PNM in the first place. People who walk out, pull out a red shirt, put on a yellow shirt and reach. And we embrace everyone. This is a party that embraces everyone. The chairman introduced me with a nice introduction. I want to tell you something. In the UNC, I have been there from the birth of the UNC. I see plenty people come. I see people go. And I see people come back. And gone back. I see it all. I see it all. So don't worry. I am strong. I have the heart for that. I have the back for that. So do not take, cage up about leadership and things. There's no leadership vacancy here. None at all. Put that away. There is a party. We have one vision. We have a program. We have a policy. We are the government. We are the government of Trinidad and Tobago. I tell you, Michelle is correct. All those infrastructure problems we are seeing. Rowley come down to Barrackpore. He come to Light Dia and so on. When I see that, I say, well, he come with a helicopter. Because he would have to leave Independence Day to reach here for Diwali. He could not pass through the road on School Hill, Papori Road, Barrackpore, where people are protesting. He couldn't pass through there to reach Barakpur for Diwali. There is a scam going on. Michelle has it right. There's a company called the Rural Development Company. Another one called the Secondary Roads something. Rural Development Company just gave out $150 million in contracts. Some small, some big. They are giving contracts to the friends and family of the PNM. They are given contracts through Bobble. There's a particular operative in the Rural Development Company. What he's doing, he's taking the engineer estimate, which say how much the work should more or less cost. And he going around by the PNM contractors and he's sharing that like nuts, like doubles. So when you see the contract, the engineer say 4 million, you come in at 3.9 million. That's what is happening now. And they are giving it to people who cannot do the work. They cannot do the work. So they come on the road, they take millions of dollars, they have no bitumen, they have no oil sand, they don't even have milling, but they come. The PNM is paving road with butter. They're paving the road in this country with butter. So they pave a road 2 months later. When you're driving, you pass a neighbor on the road, he car 5 feet ahead of you on top of your head. This is the only country where one road does have a car 5 feet on the head, you know. If you take a picture from an angle, you think one car driving up the next car. Right now, down Papari Road, we saw it coming down here. And no matter what we say, they continue their corruption. They blame us for everything under the sun when we were there. I want to tell you something. Jolene John is here. We built over 8,000 houses. We gave out 100 houses a week. Anybody ever say one of the house Munilal Jolene John built fall down, collapse? Them that start a house as an apartment and end as a duplex because it's split in two. That's how them just build house. When they build a house, it's a mobile house. After 2-3 years, it move about 3-4 feet. That's the house they build in Trash Trail. They build house there. They built 2 set of units, about 100 units or so. Do you know they have recommended to demolish that? To demolish that? I tell them a few weeks ago, I say the flooring have no steel, the ceiling have no beam, that is have beam and thing to hold on a roof if the hurricane come and so on. None. They built that, the HDC built that, the HDC supervised that, the HDC did the infrastructure for that. They have no infrastructure. Listen, about 50 years ago, my mother built a house somewhere in St. Madeleine. When she built the house, if you see the matting on the ground, the thickest iron, well, about 6 to 8 feet of matting by every post. Nothing could throw down that house. If you want, you could stand up there. I had mother and father who was a little heavyweight and thing. Them could dance on the floor. I tell them if they dance on them HD floor, you're pumping in the sand. Because you're going down in the sand. That's where you're ending up. That is their track record. So when they come to talk in the next election, they have nothing to offer, you know. They have nothing, they have built. They have built nothing and they have destroyed everything. They have no track record, brothers and sisters. None. So what do? They try to infiltrate the UNC for people to cause couture and say, oh, the party unstable, they destabilize and so on. They're fighting, this one fighting, that one fighting. That is the PNM in action. That is the blueprint of the PNM. And we must warn our supporters, don't fall for that. Don't fall for that. And the Guardian and others are leading that charge, brothers and sisters. Today I look at the next story in the newspaper. You all know what is happening with this crime talk business and thing. And quite frankly, I want to tell you something. I ain't know about nobody here. But I read these and I speak on behalf of myself. I just speak on behalf of 2 people, Rudal and Munilal. These business people attacking the UNC today in newspaper articles. I have one in my hand here somewhere, you know. Calling on you, have consultation and have talks and what put public safety first. Daily Express today, businessmen and so on. Look, I tired with these business leaders, fellas and things, and a little tired with them. Why they don't go and buy a printer for a police station? Why they don't go and buy some ink for the police? Why they don't go buy a police station and tell them when your car mash up, come by me, I go fix it? Police asked me the other day, and I'm not calling no name, no station. Police asked me the other day, they want help. What you want help for, brother? Mr. Policeman, I want to tell Rowley, anytime a police come by me, it's because they want help with water, with ink, with printer. That's all police has come by me for. And I just tell them, I'm afraid to take up a box and get them. They go, so God, police raid Bunila, look, they're going with all the files. I said, no, I'm afraid that. Police need help. Why these businessmen, instead of talking foolishness about the opposition and our position on crime talks and things, why are each of these businessmen, those say, listen, 7,000 policemen, we give each of you policemen 10% discount when you come and shop by we. Get them, motivate them. Tell the policemen get a discount in your shop. You ain't doing that, but you're talking foolishness about the opposition and we must meet and we must talk and things. Keith Rowley is the captain of the Titanic. He already hit the iceberg. What you gonna do? Give him an ice pick? You give him an ice pick? The business association must put politics aside and work to remove Keith Rowley and the PNM from the government of Trinidad and Tobago. Crime will only be fixed when they go, because that murder rate is when they are here. You cannot fix crime if the PNM is in office. You cannot. Today, there are two governments in this country. There are two governments. And listen carefully. There is a government calling the self-government led by Keith Rowley that operate from Whitehall and the Diplomatic Center. The next government is run by the gang leaders of Trinidad and Tobago. There are two governments here. Rowley has abandoned government. They have given up on the fight against crime. They have given up. All the programs we put in place, brothers and sisters, Community Comfort, E999, National Operations Center, all of that, Joint Army Patrols and so on. They put Joint Army Patrol, the Joint Army Patrol start robbing people. They say the Joint Robbery Patrol. I'll come into that in a little bit too. They abandon our programs, our policies that were put in place by John Sandy, Jack Warner, Gary Griffith, Emmanuel George, our ministers, National Security Chairman Kamla Prasad Bisesa. All our programs they abandon. Today, when they cannot fix it, they're talking a set of rubbish and want to blame the opposition. So Rowley say he not participating in that. He's sending his ministers. The fella who he's sending to lead, they catch him lying in Miami. They catch him lying in the parliament. The next fella he put there, the Minister of National Security, that fella is permanently sleeping. When he's awake, his mind is asleep. That is who they put for the crime talk. Then they put the fella who was the minister of culture or something too. I don't know how he reached there. He reached there because he got lost on the road. And who else they put there? Somebody, I forgot again. Rowley doesn't want to participate because he knows he cannot do anything because they have conceded the government to the gang leaders of Trinidad and Tobago. The gang leaders calling the shots. There are areas in this country where gang leaders behaving as if there's police. And they give instructions to the police. I want you to remember in 2022, there was an article in the newspaper, Police Service Commission, 2022 report. Well, the article was in 2023, a few days ago, but the report is 2022. A few days ago, a report in the Newsday. 8% of the public have confidence in the police. Could you imagine that? Some of you may say, you mean so much people have confidence in the police? That means 8 out of 100 human beings say, I have confidence in the police. That's an amazing thing. That is a public policy issue. That is an issue for a government. You could blame Earl Christopher how much you want and all these police and things. That is a government public policy issue to build confidence in law enforcement. But if people have confidence in a government, they will have confidence in law enforcement. So the people have no confidence in the government of Trinidad and Tobago. That is the point. And this is why the criminal justice system is as it is. If a man murders somebody in front of 50 people, 51 people say they see nothing. They will not go to court. They will not give evidence. They have no confidence that the police can protect them. When 3 people were shot recently around a police station, the most dangerous place to be in this country is outside a police station. Most dangerous.
and now outside an insurance company. Most dangerous place to be, outside a police station in this country. But that is not to be fixed only by the police. That is for policy makers, ministers. When we had a minister in Gary Griffith and others too, but Gary Griffith, he ensured that he was out there with the police, working in a proactive way, by the hour, in real time, so to speak. He was managing so that people had confidence. Do you know when we were in office, 34% of the people had confidence in the police service. And we were going to lift that to 60%. Today is 8%. We have filed a Freedom of Information request. We want the full report by the Police Service Commission on confidence in police. And that is critical. In no part of the world you can deal with murder and crime if you have no confidence in the people who are there to protect you. How are you going to do that? How that will happen? So brothers and sisters, this is why in another article, PCA tells the Committee of Parliament, Public Accounts Committee, complaints against police increasing. Imagine more and more people are complaining about the behavior of what? Policeman. More and more people. So we complain about the behavior, the criminal element. We complain about the behavior in the road or the street. Now we complain about the behavior of law enforcement. This again is an important public policy issue. And when these complaints are registered by the Police Service Commission, complaints by the Police Service Complaint Authority, that thing, where does it go? If you go and make a report today and say, I had a bad experience on the road with the police, for wherever it is, you make the report, 10 years later, you say, well, what happened to the report? Man say, hey, the man who take that, but he gone on retirement. And we have that. That in the paper somewhere, that file and thing, we're working on that. Years pass. I made a report about police already, years ago. A policeman threatened to lock me up too, on the highway somewhere. I said, what? I made a complaint. Well, me gone, the complaint gone, the policeman gone. 2-3 years later, he come by my door. I said, what happened? He said, your boss, you could help me to get a house. That is where we are in the society. That is where we are, brothers and sisters. Nothing works under the PNM, and we have to face up to that fact. We have to, and the business associations must face up to that. Monroe Road, I read just today or yesterday, another home invasion. Invading your homes. But this will not stop. I'm sorry to tell you, I really regret to tell you, this will not stop so long as the PNM is in office. Don't feel it will stop. Don't feel. And don't feel you could bully the opposition. Bully the opposition into any position. The opposition is the strongest it has ever been in the history of Trinidad and Tobago. So don't come with that. Keith Rowley cannot manage this economy. And there's another crisis I will speak briefly on. It's a crisis really of men, of masculinity, of boys. You see, I promise a fellow organizing this meeting I won't get too sophisticated. He tell me if I talk too much, too sophisticated talk, he go jump on the car and drive out. I don't want him leave. But I'll tell you something. The crisis facing the male is rooted. There are very serious sociological, psychological issues and so on there. It cannot be solved overnight. Let's start with that. But the problem that faced today, in the suicide hotline, Ministry of Health, the majority of calls are from men. The majority of homeless people on the road are men. The problem today is a crisis where more and more help need to be targeted to young males to deal with issue of management of gender relations, of relations with women, with girls, with wives, with common law wife, spouse, and so on. That is a crisis that we face. It is a multidisciplinary challenge, meaning not one area you could deal with will deal with it. It's multi. But I'll tell you, there are some causal factors that you can deal with almost in the short to medium term. The issue is unemployment. The economy has collapsed, and this is a result of the economy collapsing. Where the breadwinner, the male, traditionally, he is out of job. He has no money. He has no job. He cannot put food on the table. He feels lesser than himself. He loses self-confidence. He loses self-esteem. And when that is happening, the partner who before 50 years ago was weaker in an economic sense, is now stronger in an economic sense. Even in education, in training. So yes, it is very important that both male and female emerge together in terms of employment, empowerment, social status, jobs and so on. But we need to also focus on the male crisis that we face in the country. And you have to do that by repairing the economy, creating the jobs. 2 days ago, today's what day? Friday? Thursday. Yesterday, time does go. Yesterday, a supermarket in my constituency put out an ad. They say everybody who want a job in this supermarket, come. They had 20 jobs to offer. 300 people line up with brown envelope under their arm in the hot sun. I have the pictures. Young people, you know, I had to go, it's my constituency. So I went to talk to some of these people. I can't talk to 300 people. I take a little picture and think. I said, tell me something. You came here, yes. Need job. I said, well, what is your qualification? The people in the line, you know what they had in the brown envelope? They didn't have their marriage certificate or their birth certificate, you know. They had degree from the university, diploma from the university, 8 O-level subjects, CAPE and so on, advanced level, diploma and all type of thing. I said, but what you applying for? They said, well, there are people here, they're going to need people to pack the shelf. They need people to cash. They need people in the warehouse to do inventory and thing. I come for that. With a degree, 300 persons, generally young, multi-ethnic, multicultural, not one race or so, came for jobs at a grocery that will hire 20, 30 people. 300. And with brown envelopes with university qualifications. That is the society Rowley created. When we were in power and you were a job, you go Point Lisas with your brown envelope. Today, you go buy the grocery with your brown envelope. That's the difference. Rowley cannot run a parlor. Behind me here is a parlor, you know, right behind me in this little place, Michelle? In the back there, it has bread, it has corn curls, it has chubby. If you give Rowley to run this, he busts this in about a month. He will bust this in a month, I'm sure. That fella cannot run anything. That's how they run themselves. That's how they run themselves. This is why when Mrs. Prasad Bisesa was Prime Minister, they create one sort of thing about who in the house, or who living in the Prime Minister, resident with her, her sister was there, what she doing and thing. That fella moving with the whole Walton's family, you know. And the night is good night, John Boy, good night, Mary Ellen, goodbye. The taxpayer was buying clean milk, you know. Nobody say anything, That is the man family. If his son-in-law living like Gardamda there, well, that's the family. So all you're going to know where is that, I know. But everybody, son-in-law, brother-in-law, everybody living there together. You know, I mean, culturally, what's going on there, you know? So, brothers and sisters, they cannot run a parlor, far less an economy. And that has led to this crisis we face with male-female relationship, in part. I know there is a much deeper issue. And that is an issue that we will confront. We must invest in jobs. But you know what we must invest to? We must invest in sports, in culture, in community. 2 cricketers recently, the guy called Lindell Simmons and Jason Mohammed, I believe, from these areas and so on, are appealing to fix cricket ground in their name. Imagine you have grounds named after great West Indian players and Karaili vine growing on the fence. Huh? When you go on the ground, the snake could bite you. That is where we are today, but we must invest in sports, we must invest in culture, in panyards, in orchestra, in music, in dancing, in singing and all these things. That will absorb the energy of a lot of our young people, give them an exposure for their talent. And the UNC and the partnership was doing that. We must invest in the religious centers, the mosque, and the church, and the mandir and so on, so that they can do more work in the community. This is why we have fallen down this way, brothers and sisters. This is why you see what you see in the newspaper almost every day, because they have destroyed the sports, they have destroyed culture, they have destroyed jobs, employment, and so on and so forth. And that is the reality that faces us. Brothers and sisters, that is the reality that faces us. I would tell you as well that I don't want to take too much of your time, but there are 2 issues that I raised a few nights ago which I just want to deepen at this point. to tell you that there's a crisis, as you all know, recently at TSTT. When we were in office, there was a pink-head man somewhere on TV or something. His head was pink. And they say this fella was from something called Cambridge Analytica. And the UNC and partnership had somehow taken all your personal data and give it away to them and so on. Rowley cried blood. Mechanics go tell you he blew a gasket. When he all over the country gone crying how the partnership give away their data, and oh God, people know where he living, and people know how much house he built, and people know this and people know that. TSTT just lost over 1 million files of individuals and clients in Trinidad and Tobago. Rowley says nothing. He says nothing. They lost important data, and I kept telling people, you all may think that that is something intangible, meaning you can't see it, you can't feel it. You know, if somebody steal your car, you know, well, I lost my car gone, I have my car. If somebody steal your TV, well, they take my TV, they take my cell phone. But you don't understand, when people take your data, your information, that is more dangerous. They pretend they are you to do criminal acts. And then the police come by your door looking to charge you. They use the data, brothers and sisters, to see where you're living. If you have an alarm, when you just put on the alarm, they will use the data to see if you have a dog. Which part you just carry this dog, which vet does see this dog. They will use that data to track you down, to see when your house is vulnerable, so they can attack you at home, or they can attack you on the place to work, where you park in your car. They can use data that they hack to break into your car and dismantle your alarm system. That is the critical. We live in an age of technology. Technology does everything around us. Everything. And the stealing of that data is critical. Tonight, I want to call again, MP Barry Padarat did it before, for the government to fire the board, the PNM board of the TSTT, Mr. Sean Roach, and others. We have received the information just today. You won't believe this one, that the TSTT board knew of that hacking. They knew of it. They got a report from the management indicating the risk and what had happened, and they failed to inform the minister, who then went and lied in Parliament on November 1. The board, they fire one manager as if she went somewhere and pull out a plug and all the data gone. They fire her. Okay, she's responsible, she'll get fired. We hear the last of that, but she get fired. But the board had information. Today we call on them to fire the board, Mr. Roach. All of them must go. They mismanaged that crisis, failed to inform a minister, who then lied to the parliament. All of them must go. They are incompetent. They are inefficient, that board. And today I can tell you a report has been produced with a chronology of all the timelines in that crisis that prove that the board were informed weeks before they lied. So it was part of a conspiracy to cover up that from people. Don't forget, it is the opposition who expose things in this country. The government don't. Do you remember the famous mosquito crack? Down by the Mosquito Creek. The place they mash up like, you know where's Dixie Biscuit? It mash up like Dixie Biscuit on your plate. The road there. Huh? We expose that. We expose in the parliament as well, Trash Trail. We expose Las Alturas, houses fall down. The PNM never say nothing about that. They don't say anything about that, brothers and sisters. They don't come to the parliament and admit anything. And they know they have squandered millions of dollars. And the risk involved in that TSTT. Rowley says nothing. He go all over the world. He just carried a short fella with him like Passepartout. You remember around the world in 80 days? It have no place on the earth this fella ain't gone yet. Huh? I tell you, it have no place on earth here gone yet. Fella said the only place here gone is jail. But I don't know. I mean, I don't like to talk about that. What you say? Oh, I ain't saying that. They travel the whole world. But what struck me is when Rowley made recently, he made a remark at the press conference. I listened to him. You see, I listened to him. I don't like watching him, but I listened to him. He said that we travel the whole world because we just go to where power is. where the decision maker is, where the real deal is. We're going. He is trying to excuse himself for spending $20 million on foreign travel over the last 5 years and achieving nothing. Ask Rowley to name one company that start a business in Trinidad resulting from any trip they take. Ask them to name one development program that occurred because of those trips. Nothing. Brothers and sisters, nothing. Myself, Jolene John and others, we went to China. We going to China one day. When we come back, a hospital in Cuba was being constructed. We went to Vienna, Austria. We went to Vienna too, man. Your boy gone there too. When I come back, Jolene John, San Fernando Teaching Hospital being constructed. That's how we move. That's how we move. When we travel, it is for some benefit to the people, and it will happen. We don't go on no Mickey Mouse trip. They just go Washington. They put out a jacket and tie and walking around the place looking for Starbucks to see if it had anybody in a jacket and tie inside to go and have a meeting. And taking picture with fellas, they say there's senator and thing. Nobody never see them in life. If fellas just wearing pinstripe suit, they push a towel in the pocket here and a silk tie or something like that. And they say that fella looking important. Take a picture with him. That is how they operate and spend millions of dollars. The Saudis had a meeting the other day. They pelt him out as soon as they finish. Drop him like a bag of garbage in Barbados. Caribbean Airlines had to send a plane for him. Well, it's one of the normal aircraft, but they're going to pick him up and bring him here. Brothers and sisters, that is what they do. And while that is happening, nobody is accounting for TSTT and that debacle. TSTT has paid millions of dollars, and every year they pay $700,000 to a company called Checkpoint. It's an American company. You know what is the purpose of Checkpoint? International cyber experts, man. Them job is to protect and control that data. To this day, they might check nothing and they point out nothing. Millions of dollars gone. They have no report. Now, who really getting that money? We must check that out. That is what we have to Checkpoint out. Who getting that money? What deal it is there that this happened and nobody is accounting? Then they went and removed the lady Lisa Ega there. They put a fella there. Now, again, the man was, my brother here, Matura, was reading out all my qualification and thing, and I get frightened when he tried to pronounce cum laude. If he make one mistake, they will all have in trouble. So, brothers and sisters, that means with high distinction. So, brothers and sisters, they hire a man there. The fella was in customer service. I read his qualifications, which I confirmed to be truth. He has something called a mini MBA. Kurt, what is a mini MBA? I know what is an MBA and I know what is a mini. But I don't know what is a mini MBA. Fella have that on the qualification, you know. He have some course he do in 9 days or something. 5 days? He take a course in 5 days. And he have some big qualification in that. And then a series of seminar he attend for 2 days and 1 day and so on. He qualify to be CEO of TSTT, brother. That is over, I don't know, but maybe about $100,000 a month. Maybe more, I don't know. The fella have a mini MBA. So tonight I want to tell this fella, remove that mini and tell us what is this MBA about? Is he qualified? Or was he put there because he know the one who know the one who know the one in the PNM? Are they the snake in the Balize operating there? And I don't care. Everybody that sue me, so he could sue me too. I go bring my CV and he go bring his CV. I'm more qualified to be the CEO than he. That is what I wanted to tell you tonight. So we call for an investigation into the qualifications of this acting CEO. And the board must be fired forthwith. When we put board to manage there, they make all kind of joke and say all kind of thing about the UNC members and board and thing. Nothing like this never happened, you know. Nothing like this, brothers and sisters. Nothing like this happened. So tonight, I want to put on the table that TSTT crisis, you will hear more about that in the coming days, in the coming weeks, brothers and sisters. You will hear more about that. So they have collapsed everything. They have destroyed everything. There is nothing here again that they have not destroyed, really. Let me tell you something. The country today, I want to tell you, the only thing saving this country, the only reason people are still in this country is because of the United National Congress. and the hope and the aspiration and the dream that we will remove the PNM. So I want to tell people tonight as I close, because I didn't want to stay too long with you, in this business, you either lead, you follow, or you get out of the way. And I want to tell you something, I follow in. And not in the way. You lead, follow, or get out of the way. That is the program from now on. We carry the aspirations of 1.3 million people. We carry their dreams. When you have been in this business as long as I have, you must understand. Mr. Alam has been there for decades as well. When people see me, when they talk to me in the Gulf City Mall, they talk to me on the street, they talk to me at Pinal Debe areas and things, they talk and tell me that the UNC carries their aspirations. That is their hope, their only hope. A man see me say, when I see you, I feel a little hopeful, my heart swell. He said, when I see Kamla Prasad Bisesa, I see the future. I see the future of our country. And today, don't let anybody fool you, brothers and sisters. Don't let anybody fool you. I want to tell you something. The UNC built Trinidad and Tobago. That's a theme that Jolene John introduced some time ago. But that is correct. We mustn't lose sight of that. Huh? The UNC built this country. They malign the airport so much. The airport today wins all the prizes for the best, biggest, most efficient airport in the Caribbean. We built the airport. We did that. We built all these schools. Tim Gopi Singh, Mrs. Prasad Bisesa, 100 schools and more. We built the South Campus of the university. We built the Couva Hospital, the Point Fortin Hospital, the Arima Hospital, the San Fernando Teaching Hospital, 9 police stations, start 3 more, Mayaro Fire Station, all over. So when you look at the UNC, we are the builders of Trinidad and Tobago. And that is why we must return there. That is why we must return there. We must go back there to build. These people are looting as they leave. They are in the departure lounge. And as I tell people, when they're in the departure lounge, you must check the pocket, check the luggage. Get a little doggy and let them sniff out their luggage to see what they are carrying out. Because as they come to the end, they are getting more and more desperate. They are getting desperate. They will want to pack their bag. These people are now borrowing money to thief. I have it from good source. The next time I address you, I will speak about a loan that they embarked upon recently. They are borrowing money to thief it. Because they know 2025 before, whenever it is Kamla Prasad Bisesa, it is the United National Congress, it is the National Alliance for Transformation, it is those persons will form the government. So Rowley is going to travel the whole world. He will travel the whole world because when he leave office, who want to see he? Huh? When he leave office, you think anybody want to see? You think anybody pay any ticket? Huh? Them fellas traveling the whole world and they will enjoy everything. They travel all over the world, guzzling champagne, guzzling drinks and so on, wolfing down shrimps, that and steak. That's what they do all the time, all of them. That is their purpose now, to just eat out and drink out everything and leave. But I want to tell them, happy hour is over. Happy hour is over. And don't let anybody put you down. In this party, we have persons, I mean, you talk about my qualification and are happy, flattered. But don't forget, there are persons in this party, engineers, lawyers, accountants, ACCA people, all qualified. In that opposition in parliament, people like to cast aspersions. We have 75 university degrees sitting down in opposition. 75 university degrees. We have people there who are doctors, lawyers, engineers, accountants, and so on. What the PNM have? Half of them unemployable, the next half untrainable. What job? You ever thought which one of them getting a work? You were putting them to clean the school. When they leave office, they will not get a job to clean a school. They have no qualifications. Some of them only have a head to put on a hat. They have nothing, no other purpose to the head. So brothers and sisters, don't take old talk. This is not a time to take old talk. Take move along. Take chain up and so on. Now is a time to be focused. You like that one, Shirley? Yeah, you need purpose that your head is to put on a hat. So, brothers and sisters, this is the time to unite, to mobilize, to stay strong. I want to acknowledge our sister Nicole Gopal. You put us on the map. She is the councillor for the electoral district of Lengua, Indian Walk. We are on the map, and they will not beat her. They will not beat her at the polling station. They will not beat her in the courthouse. They will not beat her in the courthouse. They belong in the outhouse. That is where they belong. So brothers and sisters, thank you all for your attention. Long live the great people of Moruga Tableland. Long live our warrior princess, the very, very distinguished and hardworking Michelle Benjamin. Long live our great party. Long live our political leader. And longer live our struggle for justice, equality, and national unity. Thank you, and God bless you all.
For everyone who would have participated today in making tonight's event a success. I want to close off by telling you all, may God continue to bless you. May God continue to bless our great party